Hi.
Hi, are you sure this course is just for 2499?
Yes, and you know this is the only course with this expertise across the world.
No way!
Yes way. Don't delay. Enroll now.
Geeks learning together.
Hey, Akshay Bhaskar this side. Welcome to another session of Brillio Technologies interview preparation strategies. And we got late to start today because we were having some technical issues with the internet. So it took around 5-10 minutes to sort it out. But we are now starting the session and 30 people are live. So I would really love some of the comments. So keep engaging, guys. I read all the comments and try to give some shout outs as well. So I can see some comments already. Hi Deepak, hi Kushal. Okay, great. So let me tell you a bit about today's guest. Her name is Akanksha, and she's currently placed as a data analyst at Brillio Technologies. So it's my pleasure to invite her, and I'll ask some questions to her first, and then we'll get to the doubt solving segment where we'll pick a few questions from the comments and we'll talk about that. This session would be roughly around 25 minutes, half an hour. So just keep putting in your questions so that we can take as many as possible. Hi Sujit, hi Surendra, hi. Okay, hi. Great. Many people are commenting. I really love that. Hi Nishu, thank you. So without delaying any further, let me invite Akanksha to the stream and let us start the session. Great. Hi Akanksha, how are you?
Hi, Akshay. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, Akanksha. Thank you. So many geeks have already joined us. 35 people are live and some of them would be joining. So I think it would be fair to, why don't we start with your introduction, a brief intro about yourself. You can also greet the
Uh,
audience.
yeah, sure. Thank you, Akshay. You all know I'm Akanksha. I recently graduated from Nitya Meenakshi Institute of Technology. I did my BE in Computer Science and Engineering. Right now I'm working with Brillio. It's been a week since I started working with them. So currently I'm in my probation period with Brillio.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So how did you get to know about your placement, this Brillio Technology? Was it off campus or on campus?
It was on campus, so my placement department introduced us to the company, and they took care of the interview procedures.
Okay.
Yeah,
And let's now talk about each and every round. Okay. And you maybe can tell with respect to what topics were asked and how was the HR round and what was the level of difficulty, everything. So if you can elaborate by step every round, it would be really insightful for
sure,
us.
Akshay. So basically, Brilio has three rounds for on-campus placements. So the first round was a written test. So basically, we had it on the platform called Metal. So we had some questions on basic aptitude, and we also had some technical MCQs. So the technical MCQs were revolving around DBMS concepts and OOPS concepts mostly. And after the aptitude, like the technical MCQs and the general aptitude, we had programming. So the programming consists of general programming. It was just basic normal programming with a little bit of data structures. And after that, we had query writing. So query writing was like very important because they came for the role of data analyst. So
Hmm.
we had to write certain queries, and it used to pass the test cases, and that was a little about the written test. The difficulty level, it was moderate to difficult. So the written
Okay.
test was like that. And then the second round, the shortlisted candidates were sent to the technical round. So the technical round lasted for about 25 to 30 minutes, and mostly the questions were asked based on the resume. So what
Okay.
all projects we did and the internships, and also after the resume part, we were asked some questions on general programming. So some of the questions, very basic questions like palindrome, Fibonacci, we were asked to write down the programs. And also, again, the most important aspect was the SQL queries. So they used to ask us certain queries, generalized ones, but a little difficult ones. Like, compared to the written test, these were a little difficult. So we had to write like mostly about subqueries and those kind of queries. So
Okay.
after the technical round, it was the HR round. The HR
Hmm.
round was very good. Like the interviewers were very friendly. Like the person
Okay.
who interviewed me, he
Hmm.
was very friendly, and so he asked me very general questions and like about the introduction, my background. So that was the easiest round of all.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great. So you mentioned that you were tested on your projects. Like they asked about what projects you did. You were asked questions around that, obviously, and you mentioned the same on your resume as well. So what projects you worked on? Please share with us, and also if any other idea you can share of our project, and any tips on how to make our resume with respect to project and in general also.
Okay. So
Yeah.
for me, my most important like turning point in my resume was the research paper that I wrote. So it was based on the prediction of diabetes using the risk factors as parameters. So I did it along with my friend in college. So that was the most important thing, like that attracted the interviewers the most. So they asked me questions based on that, and because it was also related to the role, so that was the highlight. And along with that, I had done internship with Unisys India, so they asked me questions based on that. Since that was a project based on cloud technology, AWS, so I was
Okay.
asked certain questions on that. So these were my internships and like the most important project. Along with that, I did mention my other projects. So somewhere about IoT, somewhere about web-based technologies and DBMS. So with that, the most important thing that you have to highlight when you talk about your project, if it's a team project, is show them the contribution, like what you did in the team. So that was something that was liked by my interviewer because I made it very clear that I did
Hmm.
this and this was my role. So, coming to what should be written in a resume is a little brief introduction about your objective and then your education, like your 10th, your 12th, and your CGPA in your BE or whatever course you're pursuing. After that, highlight your technical skills. So, it may include any languages or database concepts, anything. So, highlight that and then go on to your experience, like if you have done any internships or some industry
Okay.
related projects, and after
Okay.
that your other projects, and you can also mention your later the last segment you can mention your extracurriculars or any other achievements, certifications. So that should be a flow of the resume.
Okay. So first of all, Akanksha, I'm really glad the project you told it sounds really interesting, and I'm sure if such projects, different projects, students can take up, that would be really good for them as a learning experience, and also it'll help a lot in their placements, as you
Then
mentioned. So you thank you so much for putting it so elaborately and telling it clearly, like as to what it is. Now, I want to talk about your preparation strategy. Okay, so any particular tips maybe you use for time management or stress management when it comes to performance pressure, because there are many other variables when it comes to this. So if you can throw some light on that.
sure. So basically, I started my interview preparation like 1 month before the campus placements. So we also had certain placement training from my college. So the
Okay.
placement department was very helpful with that. I mean, apart from that, like I had to do certain preparation for myself. So basically, I started off with the aptitude. So I
Hmm.
used platforms like IndiaBix.
Hmm.
IndiaBix was the place where I started off. So I used to
Okay.
practice questions there, like one type of questions a day each day, and then along with that, for the technical aspect, obviously gigs for gigs, and then
Yeah.
you start off and you just go on and on. And for the technical MCQs, I used a platform called as Sand Foundry. So they have an elaborate set of MCQs. So that helped
Okay.
me a lot to grasp up my knowledge.
Hmm.
And along with that, I think a little like I started to see what I'd exactly done in my projects because certain projects were old enough. Like I did it in my second year, so I just went through them once again. So that was a little about how I prepare for my interview. And one thing that you have to keep in mind is you need to be strong within you. And
Yeah.
yeah, so there are people who obviously get more packages and might be your friends. So that actually increases the stress that you have. So one thing I learned is we shouldn't be bothering about what others are getting and just focus on what.
Yeah,
So that is one of the most important motivating tip that I learned through my
yeah.
experience.
And I think it's a really genuine tip because this is a limitation and barrier for so many areas of life. If we
Correct.
what others are getting, if we start comparing and getting demotivated, it's kind
Yeah,
of a self-defeating mechanism.
correct.
Yeah, that's a really great tip. Anything related to time management? Because initially you take more time to solve a question because in a particular interview you have time limit also on a question, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So how do you do that? Like, how was your take on that?
Uh, to say that basically, as I told you, placement department was helping us out with the aptitude training. So
Okay.
I started to recognize my strong skills.
Mm.
My strong skills were simple interest, with in terms to quantitative aptitude. So simple interest, time and work, percentages. So these were my strong skills. So I started to identify them, and then I worked a lot more on it so that I'll be able to answer questions. So if you look into previous year, every company has some certain FAQs. So if you go through that, you'll be able to identify which company asks more questions on which topic. And if you can
Correct.
highlight your strong skills, you can practice more on that. So in the
Mm.
test, finish those first. Like obviously, like you will be able to choose and you'll be able to see the questions, right? So finish those first with where you're strong with, and then go to the next ones, like the later ones, and then you can take your time if you have enough time. So that way you'll score better in your online test. So
Okay.
that's the one thing.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, Akanksha, thank you so much for answering all the questions I had. That was all from my side.
Okay.
But now we have few minutes and we can take a few questions from the comments. Okay,
Sure.
so geeks chat, please start putting in your comments and start asking some questions because we'll try to take up as many questions as possible. Let's start with the first one. On the right side, you can see the comments tab and you'll see a lot of comments coming up, right?
Yeah.
So maybe we can start from the top, or any other particular question you want to talk about. Let me know the full name of the person. I'll put it in the banner.
So just let me check. Uh, this one, Shreya Chaube. She asks,
Okay.
as a fresher, what are the chances of landing into a data analyst job?
Okay.
So, Shreya, it depends. For me, it was on campus. So, Brillio was the only company that came to our college for the role of a data analyst. So, I was quick enough to grab the opportunity and didn't let go of it. And if you look into platforms like eLitmus, so I've seen many roles coming up on eLitmus for the role of a data analyst. So they come, mostly the recent graduates are given the opportunity. So you should keep looking into platforms like that and write the test and try to crack an offer. So that is one thing.
Okay. Uh, all right. Next question.
Okay. The next question I see Monish K. Uh, so he asked, the queries asked, was it only SQL or PLSQL? Manish, it was mostly SQL itself because they knew that we're all campus hires and we're all freshers. So they mostly focus on the SQL part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
Okay. One second. I think. Oh. Mudit Chaudhary, are there any off-campus opportunity when do they come, and in data science, maths or algorithms are important? Okay, so Brillio does hire off-campus, and I've seen Brillio giving opportunities on e-litmus also. So you can definitely grab them, and so for maths or algorithms are important. So it depends on what you go into. So there are three aspects basically. So data engineering, data science, and data analytics. So if you go into the analytics part, it's mostly about SQL. And if you go into the data science, part, it's mostly your mathematics. And if you go into data engineering, it is everything. So that's definitely up to you. Um,
Okay, okay, great. Next question. Let's pick up next question, Akanksha.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I can't see. Okay. There's not. Okay. Wait, 1 minute. I think I just missed. Okay. Someone, Yash Balias. So he asks, I have my Brillio technical round interview tomorrow. What are the topics I should cover? So Yash, as I said earlier in the video, you can focus mostly on your DBMS topics and OOPS concepts. So DBMS, be ready to write any sort of queries, because and you can focus mostly on subqueries because that was the most important thing that was asked to us. Yeah, you can focus on that and be ready with your resume.
All right. If it's okay, Akanksha, we can take two or three more questions, right?
Yeah, sure, we can.
Great.
So Deepak Verma asks, how is the Brillio environment after the join, like work pressure and life balance? Uh, so that's a very good question because I've joined, it's been just a week since I joined Deepak,
Yeah.
and the culture is very good and the seniors are very supportive. So as of now, like in the past 1 week, we've had a couple of meetings with our seniors, like the directors and the COEs. So they're very supportive, and currently I'm actually undergoing my training. So we do not have any restrictions that you have to sit for so long or anything. So you can definitely have a good life balance, and you just have to complete your tasks. So that's all that matters. As of now, there's nothing very difficult for me.
Okay, great. There are so many more questions. You can already see.
Actually, yeah.
Let's pick up. Hmm, you tell me which one.
Anything you can just say. Uh, Gargi Vivedi, she asks, I'm a final year BTech computer science student. Can I apply? Uh, Definitely, Gargi, you can apply. If Brilio is coming to your college for on-campus placements, then definitely go for it. If not, I've seen Brilio does hire off-campus, so you can definitely give it a try. Uh, Monish
Okay.
again. So he asks, I have projects related to ML, data mining, and NLP. Is it okay to put it on the resume? Definitely go for it. That's a very good thing. Like, I mean, that's because you're looking for a data analyst role, so that might really help you. So definitely go for it.
Okay. Okay. Last question, Akanksha.
Sure. Okay, I should choose.
Yeah,
Okay.
please. Last question. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Shubham Singh. Does pursuing masters give better advantage than looking for a job after a bachelor's in data analyst roles? Um, I have currently taken up the data analyst role after my Bachelor of Engineering. So it's not a bad choice. But if you're trying to pursue your master's, then you can definitely go for it because there are, the IITs and the top-notch universities are giving various courses in data science and data analytics. And if you also want to pursue your MS in it, then definitely go for it. You will land in a very good role because data analysts are they a lot of roles are coming up for data analysts. So if you want to pursue anything, there are a lot of openings for you, so you can definitely go for it.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Uh, any other question you want to take, Akanksha, or as somebody's saying, I think what project should we do? Okay. Okay. Let's take this one because he's saying that we're not picking his question. Ma'am, what
Okay.
project should we show so that I get a call for a job role in data analyst? I'm worried a bit.
Uh, project, see, for me, my turning, like, the main highlight of my resume was the research paper that I published. So, if you want to be a data analyst, you can work on some project which has the complete data pipeline, starting from the collection of data to storing it, then transforming the data, and then getting insights out of it. So, you can pick up some pipeline like that and start working on it. So, that might help you to land in a job for a data analyst.
Okay. Akanksha, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, let me tell everyone that because you are voluntarily doing this, right? Going down the memory lane and sharing your
Yeah,
experience so
yeah.
that people have another insight and another perspective to their preparation strategy. So thank you so much for joining us, Akanksha. Really.
Thank you so much,
Uh,
Akash, for hosting me.
yeah, I hope you enjoyed the session and
Definitely.
yeah, great. So you can bid goodbye to the audience and
Uh,
I'll just talk to them for a minute.
Thank you, everybody. I had a lot of fun answering all the questions. So if you have anything more, you can definitely connect with me on LinkedIn or
Yes.
anything.
Yeah,
So,
LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn profile is in the YouTube description as well, and on
yeah,
in Facebook caption as well. So people maybe can connect with you and ask some queries, and
yeah,
if you free, you get
definitely.
back to them.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, definitely.
All right, Anisha. Thank you so much. Take care and be
Thank
safe.
you so much. Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for staying tuned till the end. And tomorrow at 2 p.m. we have next live mock TSA round. So tune in. And this Sunday we are planning one more special webinar, which I'll tell you about it in like few days. In 1 or 2 days, I'll tell you. Like, so take care, guys, and be safe. Get vaccinated. Keep learning. Keep growing. Akshay Bhaskar this side. Bye.